Hello students of the 9th grade, here we meet again together with some revision exercises. We are going to revise together grammar, we are going to revise vocabulary exercises, we are going to revise jobs, adjectives related to jobs, and as you know the grammar of this module was models, so we are going to practice models and models of deductions, of course. So let's have a look first at these jobs. We have got the jobs on one side and we have what they do on the other side. We are going to read them together so you get a better understanding of what each job does. Fisherman, physicist, secret agent, bomb disposal expert, career guidance counselor, chimney sweep, air traffic controller, then we have traffic warden, civil servant and dog walker. On this side we have what these jobs do. For example, find out the military or political secrets of other countries. I give fines to people who park their cars illegally. I give students advice about their future careers. I use long brushes to clean chimneys. I use robots to disarm explosive devices. I am employed by the government. I have a boat and use nets to catch fish. I take people's pets for walks in the park. I am a scientist who specializes in physics. And then the last one is I tell pilots when to land and take off. So, what is a fisherman? And here it is related with G. A fisherman says, I have a boat and I use nets to catch fish. So a fisherman is a person who catches fish. Physics, we have matched it with I am a scientist who is specialized in physics, right? Then we have a secret agent. What does the secret agent does? I find out the military or political secrets of other countries. Then we have a bomb disposal expert. So do you remember what does our Sergeant Morris do? Well, it is matched with E. I use robots to disarm explosive devices, so to remove explosion from bombs, right? Then we have a career guidance counselor. Do you remember the dialogue between Pat and her career guidance counselor? So what does he do? He gives students advice about their future careers. Then we have the next one, number 6, it's chimney sweep. It is related, it is matched with D. I use long brushes to clean chimneys. So this person cleans chimneys. Then we have air traffic controller and it is matched with the last one. It is I tell pilots when to land or take off. So he controls the traffic on the air, right? Then we have a traffic warden. This traffic warden now he gives fines to people who park their cars illegally, right? Then we have civil servants. It is matched with F. I am employed by the government. So this person, civil servant, is employed by the government for their affairs. Then we have a dog walker. What is a dog walker and what does he do? He says that I take people's pets for walks in the park. Okay, now we have some adjectives related to jobs. Let's read the jobs and the adjectives so that we can match them together. We have intelligent, polite, curious, communicative, cooperative, brave, creative and hardworking. On the other side, we have someone who wants to know about things, someone who is able to produce new ideas. So we have here a definition of these adjectives that we use to describe jobs, right? Someone who is very clever, someone who does a lot of work, or someone who is willing to work with others. Then we have F, someone who has good manners, G, someone who is good at talking to others, and the last one, someone who is not afraid of danger. Now, let's match the adjectives to their definitions. So, if a person is intelligent, we say that this person is someone who is very clever, right? Then we have polite. If a person is polite, we say that this person has got good manners. Then it is curious. When someone is curious, what do you say about it? We say that he is someone who wants to know about everything. Then we have communicative, which means to have good communication skills, right? So we say that this person is good at talking to others. Then we have cooperative, which means you are good at working with others, and it is someone who is willing to work with others. Brave, you know, brave, it is used for those dangerous jobs where you are obliged, where you have to do risky things, right? So what is brave? It is someone who is not afraid of danger. Then we have creative. It is someone who is able to produce new ideas. What jobs needs people to be creative? For example, a florist. A teacher needs to be creative as well, right? Then we have hardworking. What is hardworking? A person who is hardworking is a person who works really hard, right? And it is matched with D. It is someone who does a lot of work. So can you think of jobs that needs these qualifications? For example, these adjectives. For example, can you think of a job where you need to be very intelligent? For example, a lawyer, a doctor, or they need to be really intelligent or polite. The waiter or the waitress needs to be very polite, right? Then we have curious, a person who is curious. For example, the marine biologist should be very curious. There are people that are willing or they want to know everything about things, right? Now let's go on with some phrases that we had during this module. We are going to practice making correct phrases. We are going to choose the correct particle to complete, to give to sentences the correct meaning. I will be available for or on an interview next week. So do you remember the letter of application? How do we say I am available for an interview? Then we have firefighters work under or over pressure. So do you remember how did the bomb disposal experts and the fishermen work? They worked under pressure. They were sometimes at risk, right? Then we have Kate has a degree with or in foreign languages, and we say degree in foreign languages. It's not a very stressful job. I just work in or on my pace, at my own pace. And it is, of course, at my own pace, right? At my surrounding. A bomb disposal expert puts his life by or at risk every day. So do you remember the phrase? How is the phrase? It is at risk, which means in very dangerous situations. The manager is in charge of or on charge of the shop. And of course, the phrase is in charge of something. Now, as we said in this module, we talked about models and models of deduction. So what are some models? We have may, must, have to or had to, mustn't, should, and don't have to. We are going to use these models to complete the sentences below. We must pay our phone bill today, so we are obliged to pay our phone bill today. Then we have you, bring your car, we will take mine. So in this case, this person is saying that it is not necessary that you bring your car. So it is a lack of obligation, right? So which of these models here express that something it is not necessary? And of course it is don't have to. So you don't have to bring your car. John, be more polite to others. In this case, this person is giving an advice. What model do we use to give advice? Right, it is should. John should be more polite to others. Then we have, I ask you for a favor. And in this case, we are making a request, but in a very polite way. So what model do we use to make a polite request? And it is may. May I ask you for a favor? Number 5, you be late for your interview. So we have the words that are left are had to and must. No, must is already used, but it is mustn't, right? So what should we use here? You mustn't or you had to be late for your interview. So it is mustn't because you are not allowed to be late for the interview. And the last one, she worked late yesterday. as we can see here, it is the word yesterday. So the sentence refers to the past. So what model is here referring to the past? And it is had to, which is used to express that she was obliged to work late yesterday. We are again going on with models, but this time we are going to fill in the appropriate modal verb that matches the meaning of the meaning in brackets. So in brackets we have you are not allowed, let's, so giving advice, it wasn't necessary, then we have it's my advice, he wasn't able to, and perhaps. Now let's go on. The first one is already done for you. You mustn't or you can't enter without permission, so you are not allowed to enter. It's a nice day, we have lunch in the garden. So here we are saying that it is a good idea to have lunch, for example, in the garden. So what do you think? What model should we use? It is can. Then we have he worked overtime yesterday, and it wasn't necessary. So be careful. Here it is wasn't necessary, which means we should use a model referring to the past. Now, what model do we use to refer to the past, saying that it wasn't necessary? And it is didn't need to. It is the past form of don't have to. You try to be at work on time, and here it is, it's my advice. So this person here is giving an advice. So what model do we use to give advice? We use should or ought to. So you can use should or ought to, and it is the sentence, it is completed by saying you should try to be at work on time. Number 5, Tim read when he was 5. So we are talking about an ability in the past. He wasn't able to, for example. It is an inability in the past. So we can say couldn't. It is the past form of can't. Jane get a promotion. So we have got here perhaps. So what modal verbs do we use to express possibilities? And it is may or might, right? So it is could as well. So we say Jane could get a promotion. We have got here now logical assumptions and deductions. In this module, we talked about models of deductions, right? About making logical assumptions. So we are going to write the sentences using must, can't, or may. First of all, have a look at the picture and try to understand what this person here is doing and where he is. And now let's go on with the sentences. I'm sure he isn't at home, so he can't be at home. I am sure he is at work. When we are 100% sure of something, which of these models do we use? Right, we use must. So the sentence is, he must be at work. Then we have perhaps he is preparing for a meeting, but we are not really sure about that. So what model do we use to express that we are 50% sure of something? And we use may. So the sentence is, he may be preparing for a meeting. I am sure he isn't on a break. This means that we are really sure that he isn't in a meeting. So we use exactly can to express that we are sure of something in a negative meaning. So he can't be on a break. Okay, my dear students, this was the last exercise. I hope you have a better understanding now of models and of vocabulary we had in unit jobs. Thank you for your attention.